right? And we are live on YouTube.
Yeah. So hello and good day to everyone joining us from around the world. You're welcome to the second edition of the Spotlight. The Spotlight is a roundtable session with globally recognized SPE Student Chapter Presidents from different parts of the world. Now, to give you a bit of context, in the Spotlight, we aim to bring together students, executives, SPE student chapters, young professionals, emerging leaders to learn from award-winning chapter presidents. These presidents have led their local chapters to international awards of excellence and noteworthiness. Now, as is the practice in our meetings, we give safety primary focus in our meetings. So, wherever you may have tuned in to join this program, please ensure that you are safe, be conscious of your surroundings, ensure that you can listen in while still being environmentally conscious. It is not anyone driving should be connected to this session, as the only thing to do while driving is to just drive. So, So in the past couple of weeks, there have been pretty good news about the effectiveness of the vaccines in development and the hope of administering these vaccines very soon to people. But we should note that we are not in the clear yet. We still need to wash our hands as often as we can, use an alcohol-based sanitizer when you cannot get to wash your hands. And then face masks are also not spreaders of the virus, but they're helping to curb the spread. So you should wear one in public. Ensure to practice social distancing, avoid large gatherings, and if you feel any symptoms of COVID-19, then self-isolation becomes vital and necessary. And if it happens that you are in Nigeria, which is host country for this session that we're having, you can reach the Nigerian Center for Disease Control on the toll-free lines that are shown on your screen. So you're welcome again. I would now be taking the profiles of our speakers. We have 4 panelists here today to take us through on the Spotlight 2.0. So, George Sekwesi has recently obtained his in petroleum engineering with distinction from Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh, and he started a position in Norway at Equinor. During his time at Heriot-Watt, he served as president of the school's SPE Student Chapter, which he reorganized after years of stagnation and led her to be awarded and globally recognized for excellence, building on creating a strong community. He was also a member of the Heriot-Watt University Petro Bowl team, which came second in the European finals and qualified to the World Finals in the year 2020. He holds a BSc degree in petroleum engineering from the University of Miskolc in Hungary, where he also served as the SPE president and planned geothermal wells across Europe with Chemco, a Germany-based drilling engineering consultancy. And before his university studies, he spent a year doing voluntary work in Brussels, accompanying adult people living with mental disorders. And this helped to form a sense of community. You're welcome, George. Could you please say hello?
Thanks for the introduction and thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jones. And next, we have Nurul Aziza Harris. Aziza is a final year geophysics student at Hasanuddin University in Indonesia, and she was the 2019-2020 president of the Society of Petroleum Engineers of the school's student chapter, during which time she successfully preserved their third presidential outstanding student chapter award in a row. During her leadership period, she managed to conduct tons of activities which included guest lectures, SPE cares, skills and ability improvement trainings, and she also served as a delegate in competitions and conferences across various cities in Indonesia and Malaysia, such as the Indonesian Petroleum Association of 2020, the Asia Geoscience Student Conference and Exhibition of 2019 in Malaysia, and Aziza in 2019 collaborated with numerous communities and other organizations to hold one multi-community event with a total of over 7,000 impacted participants. Busy schedules, leadership engagements have not hindered her from maintaining her excellent academic scores. She attended no less than 12 competitions and conferences, and ending in one of the scenarios, the second runner-up in Student Energy Quest Challenge held by SPE Balikpapan session. And the IATMI Indonesia Tengah Timur. Earlier this year, she was the sole representative from Hasanuddin University in the Schlumberger Women and Technology of the year 2020. Currently, she's working on a thesis to achieve a degree in Bachelor of Science. You're welcome, Aziza.
Thank you so much, Michael, for introducing me. Hello, everyone, and I'm so excited to share my experience today.
Thank you, Aziza. And I have Kimberly, the fourth speaker for today. Kimberly Kalu, thank God, is a 400-level student of petroleum engineering from one of the most prestigious institutions in West Africa, the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, in Imo State, Nigeria. Currently, he is the president of the SPE Student Chapter of Futo, an active student member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and an advocate for gifted kids. His love and passion for service made him actively involved in students' activities right from his sophomore year, and has seen him fire on all cylinders as regards promoting innovative skills and programs for engineering students within his jurisdiction. His enthusiasm and experience in leadership led his student chapter to winning the 2020 SPEI Presidential Award for Outstanding Student Chapter, which is a recognition given to the top 5% of SPE student chapters around the world. He also represented his chapter at the Nigerian Annual Chapter Contest, where the chapter emerged first place with a score of 97%. Alongside serving in different leadership positions, he must participated in different competitions as well as scholarship programs. His passion for impacting into gifted kids led him to conduct several Energy for Me outreaches in the southeastern and northeastern parts of Nigeria. He's a public speaker, a music and tech enthusiast, as well as a lover of God. He loves reading, playing football, traveling, and researching. Kim, I'm so happy to have you join us today. So finally, we have Hamed. Okay, I just heard from Kim, thank you. Finally, we have Hamed. Hamed Haitham is a graduate petroleum engineer from Suez University, and he has more than 5 years of professional volunteering experience with SPE. He's the 2020 e-mentoring head of SPE Egypt Young Professionals, and he served as the 2019-2020 president of SPE Suez University Student Chapter. As a president, he led and managed over 270 active members to win the 5th Presidential Award for Outstanding Student Chapter and the 15th award throughout the chapter's history. Hamed is a creative, passionate, cross-functional, results-driven, and a strategic young professional with many achievements and awards in the oil and gas industry, including the selection to be one of the top 100 students around the globe to participate in the 2020 IPTC Educational Week program in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He represented SPE Suez, selected within the level of the Middle East and North Africa to participate in the 2019 SPE ADIPEC University program in the UAE, and he was a second place winner in the Middle East Artificial Lift Forum of 2019, which was a student paper contest in Oman. Under his belt, Ahmed has more than 100 days of training in 10 multinational and national oil and gas companies in different disciplines, as well as 7 years of experience in scientific research, together with 7 international and national technical competition awards in the oil and gas industry. Ahmed's career is dynamic and diverse, with opportunities for challenges and growth, and he sees the people he encounters and works with as individuals he can learn from and people he can help. Each day brings another opportunity for Ahmed to develop, to build his career, and to create opportunities. Ahmed, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Michael, for this warm introduction. Hello, everyone. I would like first to thank you for attending this session, and many thanks to SPE Lego section. I hope you enjoyed the session with me and my colleagues. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Ahmed. So to our audience who have joined us from different parts of the world, we welcome you. You could have questions at any point in this conversation. Please feel free to use the comment section, and we will be sure to attend to them. I am ready to learn from the wealth of knowledge and experience of Jodes, of Aziza, of Ahmed, and of Kimberly, and I am certain that you have too. So let us dive right in. So Ahmed, I would like to start with you. So because from what we've read, there's a culture of consistency in your local student chapter. So when you were president of SPE Student University, because all 4 of you have a history of being able to relate with having been awarded, would you say you started out with a goal of winning the award?
Let me answer this by first, we didn't exactly plan to get the award. Like, it's not our goal. It's not like the ultimate goal for us. Our ultimate goal was to go and get value for each of our members and our community. And I think from then, we will get the award after that. So we focused on delivering value to our members, to our community, like as we always used to do in the last previous years, focusing on the development for members and also the sustainability of them is a key impact to really get the award in this season. So what I'm saying that, like, focusing more on the value, on your vision, will later get our award.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Yeah, I really like the fact that you had said your focus was more on the value that you could communicate to people. So, Aziza, I would like to come to you now, because in your own chapter as well, you about setting out to win, you got a 3rd award in a row. So I want to know, what did you have? Would you say you had an enabling environment? Because 3rd award in a row means that you had administration before you, and the one before them haven't gotten the award. So would you say you had it easier, or how was the pressure to keep the pace? You had to make sure you kept the flag flying. So how enabling was the environment you found yourself in to get a 3rd award in a row?
Thank you so much, Malcolm, for the questions. Yes, we got the 3rd award in a row. I wouldn't say that this was easier than before. The rest, it gave me a lot of pressure, because we have to maintain this award and keeping up with the pace. And actually, we did a lot of and various events for the previous stewardship, and we collaborated with other organizations and communities. And I felt like I really under pressure, because we have to keeping up with that. But turned out we can secure this award for the 3rd time, despite all of the challenges that we were facing back then, especially on funding. Because for your information, in our area and in Hasanuddin University, we don't have a petroleum engineering major, so we have to give a lot of effort and struggling to raise awareness to the society that we live in. And on the funding, we found difficulties to find a sponsorship because we don't have any oil and gas company in our area. So, but thankfully, our section, SPE Balikpapan section, always giving, always supporting us, and thank you so much for the never-ending support. And yeah, so we have to be creative and innovative to running our programs with a limited budget. And thanks a lot to my teammates and the members. Thank you so much for the effort and your hard work so that we can preserve this award for the third time. Thank you.
That was a beautiful one, Aziza. So you learned to manage and do what you could with limited resources. That's quite a challenge. So there's no having it easy that way. So you have to make do with what you have. So Jot, I would like to now come to you because contrary to what I would say Aziza had, being able to get a third award in a row, from your own profile, you had to do a restructuring and you have to do a reorganization. So how exactly did you go about that reorganization that led your team in areas to a global recognition? Because it is a giant leap to go from nothing to something. Now, not to talk about when you're going to be many things and then getting recognized globally. So could you give us something practical, a relatable thing or activity? What did you reorganize? How did you sell the idea to your community and you got them to buy into it that ensured your success?
Yeah, sure. Good question. So I think first of all, the communication was quite important. So both like internally, we had to reach like a very caring and collaborative voice. Like we need to have people believe that SP is a place where they can be in community, where they can learn something more. And then also externally, we needed to have like a courageous voice of communication, like contacting sponsors, industrial partners. So even though we were in the most active chapter the years before, but we had ambitions and they somehow listened to our voice. So that was great to see. And then secondly, it's obviously nothing about me. It's more about my board and what we achieved as a team. So the most important thing was to get my team engaged with SP and with all the vision that we had. So I just introduced the weekly meetings on the first week that I became president, and so it was a place for distributing tasks and follow up with them. I think nowadays there's many good management tools that you can use to have this, like Trello or Monday.com. Then we um, then we also renewed our social media presence. That was something very important to show to the world that Harriet Watt is back and um, and is doing stuff. And something important was to introduce some housekeeping practices. There's a Japanese saying about the 5S, which is the basic rules of housekeeping. So this is very important to. I just wanted to make sure that any document that we prepare is saved somehow somewhere on OneDrive, that the next committee will have access to it and they can take it as a basis for their activities. And then last but not least, we obviously had some support. So we had some resources, like as Aziza mentioned, the Aberdeen section was always there. Anytime we asked for support, they helped us. Then we had a few traditions that we knew that there's every year an annual dinner. So we made sure that we follow up with those traditions as well. The university had a student union, so we just joined all the other societies and shared our difficulties with them. And we had a few contacts, so we just used the resources that we had and tried to be creative.
Great. Thank you, Jolt. Thank you for speaking to that because, like you said, it felt like you had a whole lot of work to do. But from all of what you said, you just had to get into it, and then just lead your chapter to what the vision you had set them should be, and then the recognition followed because you just focused on communicating value. So Kim, we've heard from Jode, from Ahmed, from Aziza as well, about what they did in leadership of their student chapters. But I would like to ask you, Because people at times think what could make one a leader. How did you get into leadership? What would you say? Was it SPE that brought you into leadership, or it was some other society? And then you would have had experiences because from what all of our other panelists have said, the things they were able to do was because maybe they identified the gap and they decided to fill it. But it's entirely based on their experience. So how did your experience mold you into the leader you would say you are today, leading SPE Futo, and then but yeah, helped to get you into leadership as you came into SPE and now led SPE or otherwise, wherever it is you came from. So how did you get into leadership? Okay. Sorry, hello, Kim. Hello, Kim. I think we're losing you. Network on your end. I think we're. It wasn't magic. It didn't just start out that being because even right from your when you were in your secondary school, you made mention to that you alluded to that fact. So, but then I would like us to just get you much more than what you said. I think there's an issue with network. Can you try again? Okay. Okay, I think it's better, but there's still that issue. There's still that issue of the lag. Can you try maybe? Can you try? Can you try maybe refreshing your network, and then I'll go back to you. But thank you very much for having weighed in on how it was that you came into leadership. But then I would still like to hear from you about the benefits of relationship when we can hear you better. So Aziza, I would like to come to you again because while I went through your profile on LinkedIn, I saw that there was Resky. Resky was the president before you, and he had some very nice words to say about you, and it speaks a whole lot when other people can tell about what you've done. And Resky had said that, okay, for Aziza, I can tell about her that ambition is one of her forte. She sets a target and she works to achieve that target. So I would like to ask you, in your leadership, in the things you do, how do you define your targets for our audience that might be listening, emerging leaders amongst them, current SPE chapter presidents? How do you define your targets? What inspired them? And would you say the previous administration helped you in any way with your targets?
Okay, thank you so much for your questions. Indeed, targets or goal is the most important one. It's a very essential for you to do something, because with targets, you can set your goals and then you have a plan and working on that to achieve it. How I define my target? I define my target as from what I need, based on what I need that time. Before I joined in SPE, I set my target. My target was I wanted to participated in some conferences or competition, and when I achieved it, I added new targets. And when I was the president of SPE Hasanuddin University, my targets was changed. My first target was I want to encourage people around me, and I want to encourage others, especially SPE members, to be more productive either in technical.
Okay, Ahmed, can you still hear me? Okay. I think we lost Aziza there for a while, but she would be joining us right again. But she was talking about target, and I would like her to conclude on that. But just before she comes back to want to conclude on it, Jolt, I would like you to speak to this because I want Aziza to spend what she's talking about on setting targets before we really do this. But because of what happens right now, I saw a time frame on your installation as president, on your SPE Student Chapter on Twitter. It was posted, I think, on November 8th, 2019, that you and a couple of other executive presidents came into office. So now the SPE, you can also speak to this. I think the perspective, the time frame, it ends on April 1, if I'm correct, the year in consideration. So and if you came in November and you had 5 months and you had to do restructuring, you had to do an overall, you had to put things in order, have programs, would you say 5 months were enough to achieve all that you did to get recognition globally?
Well, in brief, it looks like it was, wasn't it? So, but actually, I became president by the end of September. It's just we were a bit delayed with the post, I think, because we were busy with other things. And so 6 months from the end of September to the end of March, that's almost 2/3 of the academic year. So I think that was more than enough. It was all a matter of good planning and execution. So we started early, and we definitely had the support of the section, and we had a motivated team. So as soon as we had this sense of community, we just got the wheels rolling, and that's it, I think.
Okay, so thank you for weighing in on that. But then Ahmed, if you're still with me, I want you to know that leading up to this event, we took questions from some chapter presidents. And from some of them, they were filling shoes. The shoes they were filling are shoes that you are either filling or fill if you are still the president or you're a past president. So, and you have a recognition to show for it. And they are there, they want to be maybe where you are and be able to relate with what you've done. So a chapter president, based on our Jean speak to this, she got installed in November. She wants to raise the flag of a chapter higher, and she's got less than 5 months of activity to be considered for the SPEI Awards. No. So now, would you say she stands a chance? Because I talked about it at the beginning and said, oh, well, it seemed enough, but you had to do a whole lot, do a restructuring. So would you say 5 months is enough to do what you need to do to get your chapter up on track, up and running, to be recognized globally? So Ahmed,
sorry, I was unmuted. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this is a very great question. I really encourage chapter presidents who are willing to start and getting ambition to take an award. You can do it. You can do it in just little time. Just doing some practices. And also I have met another chapters where they got an excellence award in their first year. So I think you can also, like as a fresh student chapter, you can get an award. So how do you do this? First of all, like you should like establish your team correctly. Like choose your team wisely. It's the most important thing in your trip. To choose the most inspired members to be as a supporters for your vision. So without the members, without the good team, once you are like falling, or maybe you are not doing something right, only they will see you and encourage you to do the best. So this is the number one. Number two, I advise you to plan from the beginning of the season. Like if you currently don't know what to do in the rest of the season, I see that if you can do more in planning and plan to the last minute to the end of the season, this will encourage and this will give you a solid plan. What are you doing the next phase? Get involved to all activities. Get involved to all activities in especially in the one that has participating like big or top student chapters. This will allow you to join them and see how they work and see how they are performing toward the good activities. And finally, get a mentor, reach out mentors, get an advisor, and I think SPE International considered the increasing of membership number as a good impact and a good positive view for a good student chapter. So this is like my final advice, and I hope it answered your question.
Okay, so thank you, Ahmed. Thank you for the advice. So Jolt, you want to weigh in as well, because you had spoken before now, but I want you to be more specific now, since I have a president who is exactly in your shoes. Thank you. So you want to build on Ahmed's point?
Could you just repeat it, please?
So I said you want to build on Ahmed's point about a president who got installed in November. The award year for SPE ends in April, and she wants to know if she's got enough time to do what it takes to be recognized globally.
Oh, definitely. If she already has a committee, if she already has a plan, and she makes sure that they're meeting regularly, then that they distribute tasks, they follow up with them, so they stick to their plan. I think that should work.
Okay, great. So Aziza, it's good to have you again, have you back. So you were talking to us about defining the target. You went from when it was just you as a member of SP before you came into leadership, how your targets were just about conferences, but when you came to lead a community, you had to adapt your targets to suit what the community needs are. So can you continue? I would like you to conclude on that. 1 minute.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry for I have a bad connection. Okay, I want to continue. So the first one, when I was the president of SPEI University, we set a target. The first is encourage others, especially in SPE member and our boards, to be more productive, either in technical, volunteering, or helping others in general and improving their skills. And the second one, we have to maintain the work. We have to maintain the work. And then the third one is we have to collaborate with others, organizations, and communities, because we thought that collaborate with others is way more important than compete with others. For example, like this event, we collaborate with each other, and then we share our thoughts and sharing experiences, and we can learn from others. And what we maintain from the previous stewardship is we have to keep communicating, either with our teammates, our boards, our members, and our seniors, because our seniors have been through the situation before. If you have any problems, you can asking them for a solution, and you have a different perspective. and you try to figure things out, and yeah, that will help. And for the last one, for our award, we consider the scoring details and SPE internationals. There are 5 lists. Sorry, I have to read it because I easily forget something, so I need to read because I don't want to miss a thing. The first one is industry engagement, 30%, operations and planning, 30%, community involvement, 15%, professional development, 10%, and last one is innovation, 15%. So that's what can I say. Thank you.
Oh, okay, great. I'm very glad you had to allude to that fact, Aziza, because you also complimented what Jode and Ahmed have said about the possibility of getting results. When you have a target and you have something to guide you, it really helps. So okay, thank you, Aziza. So Kimberly, back to you. You were telling us about how you got into leadership. And then I want you now to tell us about your getting into leadership, and also speak to something that is much more current in that I can relate with, say, in Nigeria, for instance, about schools not being in session at times, maybe due to one factor or the other. And your chapter actually have to depend on virtual meetings to be able to relate with your students that are across the country. So how is your chapter going about dealing with the virtual world right now, bearing in mind that the SPE Awards calendar, like we have said, has a fixed timeline? So it's either you're moving, because SPEI is always moving, you have to be moving.
Okay.
Okay, I think Kim, I think we still have today is just it's just seemingly unkind to you, because we had run this over before and it was fine. So I cannot hear you. Can you try again, Kim?
Fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So sorry about.
Okay, Kim, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt again. I know you can hear me well, but I cannot hear you well. I want to confirm. Ahmed, can you hear him well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, can you hear Kim well?
No, actually, there's
No. So Kim, I think we still have that issue on your end. I'm sorry. I will come back again to you. I'm very sorry about that. Because Aziza, just still on what I said, Reski had said, as past president, you have also mentioned you're a past president. As past president, you also still have to be in the loop about what is currently going on. George can relate, he's past president, you're a past president, you still have to be in the loop about what's going on in your school, except if you're far away. And even if you're far away, you can still connect and be on top of what is going on. So the pandemic, in a way, has forced us to adapt, brought some digital revolutions and technologies to our doorstep faster. And there's been a surge in subscription to video conferencing, and people are getting activities done well via that media as a substitute to physical events. So I want you to know, so since your obligation bound to supervise the work of what is going on in your chapter, how would you say your chapter is adapting to the restriction that has been on physical events? And how would you say that the current president is helping to keep students motivated? Because they need to be on course for presidential award recognition. So what would you say you're doing about that? Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. The situation is very different from the last year, obviously. But I keep communicating with the current president. Her name is Husnul. And I was just attending their board meeting 2 days ago, and I keep supervising them and help them still on the right track, and I still giving advice on what they have to do next. And I can say that Husnul and her teammates can tackling the situation very well, because from this year they already held 14 technical activities, 5 SPE cares, and 9 competition and a representative. And they have to be innovative this year, more innovative and more creative, because there is a pandemic. So during the pandemic, they held SPE care, and our board and member is from various area and in South Sulawesi, from various cities, and they held an SPE care. There was one SPE member in every cities, and they do the SPE cares simultaneously back then. And right now they are currently working on their projects named SPE Kolong Desa from 11 to 13 December. So they're working on that events right now. And for the fourth award, I am convinced that Husnul and her teammates can achieve this award for the fourth time in 2020. Yeah.
Well, great. Very much, Aziza. It seems your chapter is, as much as possible, trying to get things done as well, leverage on what is currently, still do things as they should. So, Hamed, you are also an e-mentoring head for SPE Egypt YP, and I want to hear from experience, because since it is e-mentoring, it also means that, I mean, you have maybe before now been on top of relating virtually. And then being on top of that and all of that. So we took a question from a chapter president as one of the surveys before this event, and she made a complaint about, like Jolt has also referred to, the lack of motivation from a teammate. So it's possible you've chosen a teammate and you're already not motivated. Now, it's much more difficult to now get them committed virtually. Since physically they were still giving you issues, now it's virtual. They can now shy away from responsibilities and not do them, forgetting that the success of the chapter depends on everybody. So how would you advise a president to deal with a non-cooperating member who doesn't want to do the work but is all in for getting an award?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. I want to tell you about a story that happened actually before the pandemic by like 2 weeks. We were participating in the biggest event for our student chapter. It's just a big conference where the biggest CEOs of our industry in Egypt comes and visits. Foreigner students comes to Egypt especially to enjoy this. So this is like the event we share our excellence. So once the pandemic just started, we just felt sad, like it will not be happening. We thought that we were not getting the SPE International Outstanding Award. Since then, if you remember that SPE International delegated postponed the submission of the annual report by 1 month. Then we thought, like, what the criteria is for SPE International now to get to give the SPE award to the students. Then we thought that they will perform only for those who are working on their virtual events, who are working to spread the value even if there's no offline. Then we started to take this opportunity and perform more and more. Of course, many thanks to our officers. Like we have not only one president, we had like nine presidents in our student chapter. So advantage of virtual events is you can get in touch after webinars. You can develop yourself at any time. And my advice for all the students, if they are like having threats or maybe problems in motivating their students, you can like include activities and workshop in your events. You can make a cooperation with other university student chapters. You can invite important and professionals toward your events. This will add a lot. And remember, whenever you deliver a value, there will be excitement and participating from each other. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. So my takeaway from what you said is you just value. You need to communicate value. Anybody should respond to value. Anyone should want to respond to value. So Kimberly, I want to confirm that you can hear me now and that we can hear you, because I'll be coming to you after I leave Jolt. Jolt, I want you to speak to this value. Value that is obtainable. And then I was in a conversation with someone recently who said, when you want to get people motivated, there should be a measure of value that is obtainable. So I want to know if you agree with this. And then you have told us about the programs you had in your administration, but what value proposition would you say that the people saw in what you were proposing that made them buy into it? And then what would you advise the leaders that are listening to us, our YouTube audience, what would you advise them to do in this regard? So now, before you also answer this, I just want to note this, that when I read through your profile, I was amazed at the diverse groomings you have had. I mean, you've had to relate in Norway, you've had to relate in Belgium, in Brussels, you've had to relate in the UK, in your school area, and then I think you're currently right now with Equinor, and so it's been a whole lot of multicultural relations. You've had different people. As Lisa also mentioned, having to work with different people as well, different races. So how would you say that your diverse grooming, your exposure to different backgrounds helped you in your leadership and in helping them to buy into what you were proposing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for the question. I also lived in Germany and Italy, by the way. I don't know if you've seen that. But yes, so luckily at Harriet Watt, it wasn't really difficult to sell the idea of SPE, because the people mostly already appreciated the brand of SPE. So so they knew that being a member of SPE means that one can belong to a community and can have industrial insights all around the world from Harriet Watt. So we had a community where we came from 50 plus countries to learn about our common passion about petroleum engineering. So what we did really is that we communicated that come to our events, because then this is a place where you can feel in community, you can feel in home, and you also can learn about the oil and gas industry worldwide. So that's why it was a series of student presentations, and that was very interesting for me to see how it's working offshore Malaysia, petrophysics in Egypt, or geology work offshore Brazil. I brought my insight to geothermal engineering in Europe. So that was something where we could see how diverse we are and and we still belong to the same industry and have the same interests. So actually, this helped a bit to 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 go through this cultural barriers. And the other thing is like about the different cultures that you mentioned. It's like I think very important to be open to any kind of people that you work with. And even though when you feel something is a bit weird for you at the first sight, then you just try to integrate it and try to accept it as okay, this is something very important at his culture, or very normal at this person's culture. So you just need to learn how to live with it and how to appreciate it. And I think that I did learn a lot at Harriet Watts about these things, because then we had a truly global community, not only people from Europe. So it was very interesting for me, and I did learn a lot from these people from all around the world.
Good. Wow. Well, thank you very much, Zoltz, because from what you said, learning went both ways. You were able to get others to learn from you, and then you learn from others as well. And your programs that have that cover different cultures, just so that people could see that they were included in your thoughts and in your consideration of what your activities were. Kimberly, I would like to come to you again. I think let's try you speaking maybe without your video on. I want to see if the network is coming better, because I want you to speak to challenges of interfacing your responsibilities with your academics. Ahmed has been a representative of a school in competition. Top 100 IPTC globally. Aziza, 12 conferences, no less than 12 conferences as a delegate and in competitions as well. And so I want you to speak to this as well. Your academics and your responsibilities as a leader. The clashes, have there been any clashes? Has there been any frictions? Has there been difficulties in merging the two at times? Can you tell us of maybe a scenario where you faced any challenges as regards all of your responsibilities? Hello, Kim. You can take it up now.
All right, Mayokun, very much. I think you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I will answer that question by saying sometimes I do ask myself, I do pray and say, God, is it possible for me to get more than 24 hours in a day? And it's like, no, it's not possible. You definitely will have the same time the other students are having. So basically, it was a very challenging moment for me as a president, multitasking in different systems, not only as an SPE a member, but also in different organizations like in church, in different scholarship programs and others. It was quite very taxing, but there is a plan I always put up as a leader, which makes me to achieve more than I even desire for. One of them is making sure I utilize my nights properly. I'm kind of person who I don't sleep at night. Not like I don't like sleeping at night, but because I'm always fighting with my problems and make my strategy right at night. And then the next morning, I just wake up implementing them. And some persons will be like, hey guy, how far now? Why you how like what's your motivation? What's giving you this strength and others? So I utilize my night properly. I'm saying a personal, I'm giving a personal experience of myself right now. Okay, I had a class, a very class, when I had to attend an SP meeting at the section, and I was having a test, right? That's MD. Was quite challenging because I couldn't just leave my academic pursuit by leaving that test behind and then working up on SP and the rest. That day I was like, oh my God, I really need to beat up this plan. And I was needed at the section. It was very my presence was highly needed in the section that day. So it's like I discussed with my HOD. He still insisted on me staying to write my test because there was nothing, there were no two ways about it. And coupled with the fact I needed to be there. But the golden thing there was that I don't know how it happened, but I was well prepared for that test. And I wrote that test in a very limited time. And I was still surprised till today how I got to join that same meeting at the section that same day after embarking on about 3 hours journey. So it was quite stressful for me, but I see myself keep achieving this. As I said earlier, leadership has been a part of me. It's a passion. It's in me. I love doing it. I love seeing people succeeding. I love lifting people up. So I don't know if I answered your question rightly, Mayokun.
Yes, you have Kate, about interfacing your responsibilities. You told us of how you had an issue of a meeting and then a test. So yeah, thank you very much. You did answer my question, and I think we can hear you way better this time. Thank you very much. So Aziza, please, also I want you to speak to that, just so people know that there could be challenges. It's not all rosy. It's not all easy. as you lead your student chapter, and then Ahmed will take it up as well after Aziza. So Aziza, let me hear, can I hear from you, please?
Okay, thank you so much for the question, Michael. To balancing between my academic and my organizational stuff, in this case is SPE. The key is time management. You have to manage your time. Everyone has a different style of their time management, but me, I prefer to set a priority scale. By considering some aspects like time or the deadline, and then the importance, the difficulties, and the urgency. So yeah, but before you set your priority scale, you have to know yourself first. You have to know what your ability and what you're capable of. Because once you don't know yourself, probably your priority scale could be gone wrong or something. So the most important one is, the first thing you have to do is know yourself first. Know what you're capable of and know what's your ability, and then you set your priority scale based on what you're consider. This depends
Great.
on personal preference.
Great. Thank you very much, Aziza. Thank you very much. So from what you've said, from what Kim has said, time is a very important factor. Kim says he likes to work at night. You have also mentioned about managing your time very well. So, Ahmed, can you also speak to that fact? Because you have 15 awards is no small feat. Your student chapter is consistent. So how was it like for you as well, knowing that you had a whole lot to meet up to? I mean, because there were expectations, I can imagine, because you've always been in on it. So how did you do it yourself? You had to juggle your academics, manage the expectations of people as well. So how did you go about that?
So regarding the 15 awards, I would first like to introduce our university. So SPEI University is one of the oldest and the most powerful universities. It was established since 1960s. Okay, so we have a great generations of engineers and leaders in the industry. SPE Student started in 2004. And we are in SPEI University, we have like very, very, very competitive student activities. Like half of them are the most ranked in the world. Like each year, not only SPE got the most outstanding awards, but only like 5 other chapters. So we help each other, we support each other to share our vision. We always have the expectations from others to get the best and driven by the top results. So diversity is one of the keys to success. We have not only oil and gas engineers or students, but we have from other colleges and universities, and this is how you functions all the tasks by them. Like each one has he has a goal when he joined your chapter, right? So if you like, for me, I want to become a successful engineer. For other, maybe he wants to do another, learn soft skills. So it's important, like, to show and to know more about, to assure that each of our members get a value and know why he did join our student chapter. Because when you know the why, it's easier to motivate them to give what he needs, and then after that you'll get what you want as a leader, right? You give and then you take. So we focus a lot for our members. We develop them. We assure that sustainability occurs in most of our seasons. Like 15 hours, it's like maybe a huge number for other universities or student chapters, but we got like 5 international outstanding awards. We got 5 excellence international awards. We got also 5 different prizes from the Egyptian section. So all this comes by sustainability, and generation after generation make sure that when I leave the place, there is one who will lead better than me. And this is how we assure that the excellence is sustainable. And this is like also important for us to competing and achieve an international record.
Right. Great. Thank you very much, Ahmed. So you were that's an awesome culture. Awesome culture. So Kim, we have a question from the audience. This is a chapter president who wants to about insubordination. Jolt, I also like you to weigh in on this after Kim must have gone up. So I'm saying this. How do you handle maybe members or your committee members? Because okay, Jolt now said you did not have so much issue getting people encouraged and motivated, but we cannot always sideline our individual differences. Some persons just want to feel like they're bigger, they're indispensable, and you need them to get things done. So how do you handle committee members that I see Aziza is smiling, almost like she has an experience with this. So how do you handle committee members that are feeling too big to do the things you want them to do or are not cooperative? So how do you handle such? So Kim, can we go first? And please, can we keep this to a minute? We're way, our time is fast spent. I'll just plead with our audience to please allow us to wrap up in the next 10 minutes because we're way out of time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayoko. It's one thing. The first target as I is when I became the president, enable that team spirit, that spirit factor to play a role. And I had this time of making sure my executives had the best of my abilities, and I also allowed them to get to understand my strengths and my weaknesses. And then I also let them to do same to me. Of we became a family. It was more like a bond. Like some persons are still envying myself and my executives because it was like we were like brothers and sisters. We did things. It was like what was in my mind was the same thing with what was in my Secretary General's mind, the technical secretary, the publicity chairperson, the membership, and everybody. It's just like when we come up with an idea, someone just be like, wow, yeah. We've been waiting for this, and I think this is it. So I had much challenge because I had one of the best executives. Sorry to say that. I had one of the best team members ever established in my chapter. They were so helpful. They were so innovative. They had ideas. They brought out ideas that could make the chapter work out perfectly well, and that was why that was one of the reasons I believe we were going to win the award, because they had it in their mind and the motivation was at its own peak. So I had no issue with my team.
Great. Thank you very much, Kimberly. Okay, Jos, now, since you're speaking next, I want you to also know that in this meeting earlier, you had spoken about choosing your committee members as well. Kimberly had an awesome committee. From a profile, you have an awesome sense of community that you built from your past experience. So Kimberly spoke about they had a unity in their mindsets. When they wanted to do something, everybody bought into it. So how would you say you were going to handle maybe that odd one out, that one person that was not willing or not listening or not contributing to the success of the administration?
Yeah, good question. I think those were the most challenging moments of my leadership there. But I think that those are the moments that I'm the most grateful for because these are just challenging moments where you need to learn or you need to somehow manage to still communicate in a positive manner and still try to get that person involved. So I would try not to be angry or tell someone off for not delivering on his promises or on the task that he was signed up for. I would like in the worst case I would just do his task, but a better case would be that we sit down and try to go through it, and then I might just ask him some personal questions if there's something going on in his life that prevents him from delivering on what we have discussed, or whether he disargues on our plans, because then there must be a place for these discussions as well. So yeah, I think these are the moments that I'm the most grateful for.
Yes, thank you. I really like that as well. That you met them on a personal level, try to understand where they're coming from and why they're acting the way they do. So, Jot, again, before I go around for every one of us to have a final words of advice for them, you were president in your undergraduate level, am I correct? So you were president in your level, a president in your graduate degree as well. Were you intentional about that? Did you want to be president after your undergraduate level?
It was a tight race at Heriot-Watt actually, so I just won by 1 vote, and the other candidate was an excellent guy as well, and he ended up in my committee, and we worked together closely, and I really enjoyed his company. But for me, being president wasn't really about being a leader. It was more about that I like to be in community. I like it when get-togethers have a purpose, and I just felt like I could do the most for the community when I'm the president, and so all the time I just felt that I'm doing something good for us, and and that's it. I would if I didn't win the elections at Heriot-Watt, I would have been grateful to work as in any other board member position as well.
Great. That's a wonderful mindset, Joe. That is. So, Aziz, I would like you to open the floor for our final words. You've had this experience, you've been recognized globally. Looking back on your story, what you're doing right now, and what you still were doing, supervising the current president, what advice would you have for students that are listening to us, for current SPE presidents who currently have maybe one issue or another, and trying to just see what they can do to get their community together to work towards the same goal? So I want you to give final words. So I'll go from Aziza, and then Hamed takes it up, and then Kimberly, and then we show it again. So Aziza, you have the floor.
So much. Yeah. The first thing I said that do and give your best on everything or anything you do. And then the second one, be responsible and be professional on your whatever what you do, because your coworkers or someone that working with you will define you based on how you work, based on your professionalism. And then the third one is don't be afraid, be brave, don't be afraid to make a mistake, because everyone makes mistake. The difference is do you learn from your mistake or not? Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Aziza. Hamed.
Okay, for me, like for final advice, I would like to say that for every member in SPE is full of opportunities. I didn't reach this position only by me. I got it by SPE. I have participated in many international conferences in many countries by SPE. So you have a lot of opportunity as an SPE member to develop your skills, to go through your career. And actually, I would recommend to even complete it as a career after your graduation, to be a member and to be active. Volunteering doesn't end. My second advice is continuously develop yourself. Don't say that's enough for me to stay at this. No, even if you are better at the thing, develop it more. Make your strength like having better and better edition of yourself, and learn from others. People you are working from, your previous leaders, your mentors, your even other student chapters. Learn from others, and don't forget to networking. Like networking now after graduation, don't just wait until you graduate and search for networking opportunities. Start from now. As a student, you have the opportunity, and you can get the value from now, and start from now. You can be better in the future. Final couple of words: get out of your comfort zone. If you didn't get out of your comfort zone, you will not be able to define your weaknesses. Like if you are afraid to go into a leadership position, do it. By time you will be learning. By time you will be better in yourself. And once you develop yourself and these skills, you'll be more and more active. Finally, help others. spread the value, spread the word. This is the most important thing. You as a leader, you as a member, you have the responsibility to share everything to others. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Ahmed. So Kimberly.
Okay, thank you very much. My last words or advice will be basically on 4 different things. Please, for those who are listening, I believe we all want to win an outstanding award, either award of excellence or professional award. There are 4 things that I think you need to meet up with. And if you don't meet up with those things, I think you might have a challenge. One of them should be your membership. I think most of the chapters are finding it very difficult to renew their members because probably they don't have a database of their members, or probably they are not really very careful of the day of the renewal date proper, or when the renewal date should be over. So I will plead with each team or each chapter to work extensively on your membership. Retain your members. SP is all about continuity. You can't just achieve goals now and expect the next set of administrators or teams not to achieve that same goal. So you need to retain those members. You need your renewal to be very active. The second thing is gender engagement. I found that most of the chapters are always working, petroleum, geology, and stuff like other courses, other related courses are basically, some people say they are basically men's work. I think it's proper and is an opportunity or an avenue for you to bring the women into this. Like my chapter, that was one of our focus. We had the highest WDP program, the Women Development Programs, and I look at it as one of the factors of winning an outstanding chapter award. Okay, and then the university involvement. It's something most of us don't look into. I believe most of us as executives or the new executives, I want you to go back to your portal on that as www.spe.org and go through that portal and look at the criteria necessary or needed for you to actually achieve these goals. And I bet you if you can work up with your team, the sky will be your limit. I bet you. So the last words from me is SP is actually an opportunity to network and to build yourself. So your personal development should be one of your key focus. Not on despite the fact that you're working for the chapter or you're volunteering for the chapter and the students, don't forget to develop yourself personally, develop yourself technically, and add more skills to yourself even before leaving school as a student. Okay, thank you very much, Mayokun, for having me on this show.
Thank you very much, King. That was exhaustive and all inclusive. Round up for us on final words. Hello, George, can you hear me?
Sorry. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yes,
Didn't hear the name. Yeah, all right. Like if it comes to award winning, as Aziza and Kim said, you can find the criteria on the SP website. So don't forget to check it out. And as a leader, I would say just always seize the day, strive for more, reflect on your ideas with the team, and remain curious, open, courageous, collaborative, and caring.
Thank you, Jokes. That was very, very, very straight to the point. So, I mean, I can recount all of what you said, but just so we do not have repetitions, and then anyone who wants to listen in can always listen to this session again, because we're on YouTube Live, and it will always be there for our audience to visit at any point. So thank you very much, our beautiful audience. You've been awesome. You've been amazing. Yes, we did do more than an hour because we had network glitches and issues here and there, but then this has been an awesome time. Thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to take the next 2 minutes to tell our audience and then yourself about some of the things we're doing in SPE Lagos section, because and we have an upcoming program that is just entirely about sharing love at Christmas. So we want to get to reach out to kids with gift packs, and then we're doing that. We call it a love box drive. It's a community outreach event, and we're doing that this December. We're already taking donations of to want to spread love by getting gift items down to kids. So this is Lagos section's community outreach. We're doing this December, and that is it for having joined us. You want to join the connection to Lagos section, you can do that using any of the channels shown on your screen. or contact Odion, Chimere, or Stella on the contacts you can see on your screen. So I would say this: our speakers are very, very ready to help you. They've devoted their times to teach today on what is obtainable in SPE leadership. And I just want to say this, that should you have further questions, the contacts are shown on your screen. You can reach out to them with whatever questions that you have. And if it is to a specific speaker, because we are ready to work with leaders who maybe have who need one or two things to learn from them, much more beyond the session, to get to see you how you can learn more, get your session up and running anywhere you might be around the world, whether you're in Europe, in Asia, in America, North and South, in Africa, or anywhere you have. The goal is to just make sure that you're communicating value, growing your team members, growing yourself, going with the advice that we've heard from Jot today, from Hamed, from Kimberly, as well as from Aziza. So thank you very much, everyone. That's our time. So thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michael.
So, thank you, Michael.
Nice to meet you all, guys.
So,
nice meeting you guys.
What did you say?
Nice meeting you guys.
So, sorry, Hamed.
Yes.
Okay.